In a world where things don't go according to plan, being part of an overall franchise operation is really beneficial because you're in business for yourself but not by yourself. One of the biggest or most extreme examples of that would be the COVID pandemic that hit us in March of 2020.
Everyone likes certainty, and when uncertainty happens, the role of the franchisor is to create certainty.
A range of different things that we did as a franchise operation to help our franchisees would include, first of all, maximum communication with those franchisees.
You're going to say, hold on, we need to tack. Life has changed, the market has changed, the factors of production have changed. We need to now tack left, tack right, and change this. What we will do then is employ task teams to go and have a look at that.
The next thing we did was we clearly defined the roles and responsibilities of each member of this team. You cannot have miscommunication in time of a crisis. And the best way to overcome that is to have one person, a single person. And that in our case was our CEO. It was also important to use the channels of information we had at our disposal. This was the banks, this was our legal support, this was the various regulators. It was the associations like the Microfinance South Africa we're members of, as well as the Franchise Association, to get a sense of what was happening in particular industries.
Peter Forshaw, who is the specialist on compliance in our organization, and our compliance officers were tasked with figuring out how do we do what we need to do when we need to do it.
Each ExCo member, in terms of their area of responsibility, was out there sourcing information. At that time, that information could have ranged from the health requirements to the legal requirements. It could have been macroeconomic impacts. Get as much information as you possibly can into the central pool. And the reason for that is that you can do some scenario planning.
So assess the situation, understand where we are, understand what we are certain about, understand what we aren't certain about. Establish what are those things in our control. Put those on our list, we need to do something about those. Establish those things that are not in our control, communicate that to people.
Fortunately, on the backbone of our wide area network, we had implemented wide area communications with our franchisees.
The type of communication then to the franchisees was done on a ExCo to franchisee basis, and it was always topped and tailed by the spokesman. It was also critical at that stage in terms of the tone of communication to be open, to be honest, but it was also important to show strong leadership. It was very, very important to be able to present action plans.
So recognizing that and understanding that this, again, is going to impact each and every one of our franchisees differently. They're all under different pressures, they're all coming from different perspectives, they're all in our business in different age and stages.
Cash Converters South Africa was particularly lucky in being part of an international franchise operation.
We would effectively then share experiences of what was going on from a regulatory point of view in those different territories, as well as how they were dealing with their franchise networks and how things were transpiring there.
It was critical that we protected the network as much as we possibly could. Making those decisions, one of the primary concerns we had was for the franchisees to be strong from a cash flow perspective. This took the form of communicating with the banks to get remissions on bank repayments.
So that was a role I undertook during the course of COVID and opened up communication channels with our banking partners.
We did whatever we could to negotiate with whoever we could to assist the franchisees. And this took the form of dealing with landlords to get rent remissions for the period of time the franchisees were closed.
So our property department were tasked to contact every one of our landlords, and that in fact is in a network of almost 100 operations.
Also understanding, we'll tell our franchisees what they need to do. Run your business, look after your people. At the end of the day, we've said this many times, it's all about people.
We made sure that the jobs were protected. And we looked at all the opportunities to deal with the bodies that could provide relief in this regard.
In our world, our people are the most important asset we have. We look after them. We can't run our business without our staff. So that aspect of ensuring that our staff got paid, our true accounting team had effectively spent the first couple of months of the COVID pandemic on the line to the UIF department, ensuring that payments were being made. If they weren't being made correctly, getting them sorted out and all of that.
Our retail business, coming out of COVID and as we opened, traded extremely well. That was really positive for the network because it allowed them to generate cash. Likewise, consumers came back and were redeeming their pawned items. That also added to the cash flow benefit to the franchisee. So all of that was planned.
One of the roles of the franchisor is to continuously develop the business model. And in the context of adversity, the role is to navigate through that adversity and find the opportunities for the brand or the model. Or effectively, if there aren't any opportunities, then re-engineer the business radically enough so that they do maximize the opportunity in the circumstance. And as a consequence of this, I think we have become much more efficient. We've done different things that we haven't done before, and the combination of that effectiveness and efficiency delivered in 2020 the best year that we've ever had.